So we were going to talk about Gamestop, weren't we? Do you remember a few months ago? No, it's a few weeks ago, isn't it? Where where all these sort of powerful brokers were trying to put them out of business, and all these normal everyday people sort of started buying shares and up the value of the shares. And now the naughty boys have gone bankrupt, haven't they?
Yes, White Square. Is it White Square Capital? They've closed down.
The hedge fund's gone down, hasn't it?
Yes, and people held.
It's interesting that, because it seems to me that social media has a lot of influence, and the people influencing these influencers can do all sorts. I mean, didn't they set up a coup in Egypt a few years ago? That's how powerful the internet is. So all these people have gone online and they've said to their friends and family and beyond, go and buy these shares, and they've prevented a whole big fraud going on. And now the company that was perpetuating it has gone bump. And everyone's had their money back, haven't they?
Well, yeah, and this is where I have a problem with it, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think that pensioners should lose their retirement funds and all the rest of it. No. But what frustrates me is the core of it, that these hedge funds are allowed to be so dangerous with people's money, and it's covered by government insurance. Yeah. It really irritates me.
Go and gamble other people's money, and they can do that with impunity because the government will pay them.
Yes.
But you know something? A lot of the time, limited companies are based on that concept. They are. They're based on.
Let's do it.
The argument is if entrepreneurs can't take risk, then they won't do anything. They'll play it safe. So there's never any progress. There's never anybody getting on in life.
I 100% agree with that.
And so that's why they have the limited liability, that you're only liable to the money you've invested as capital into the company. Otherwise, you can be in deep shit. So in a way, you can get maybe we do have to take some risks sometimes. But I see what you're saying. It's calculated. It shouldn't be in order to put other people out of business or cause losses.
There's having certain legal protections because you've opened a tea shop.
Yeah.
And then there's risking $4 billion of people's pensions on. Yeah. A stock going down, shorting stocks. I do think there's a difference.
Yep.
Philosophically, is there a difference?
No, there is a difference.
But I think there is.
One's entrepreneurial that goes wrong.
Yes.
And the other one is manipulation that they shouldn't be allowed to do in the first place, regardless of who's protected or not.
I love, though, what's really, really exciting about this is people bought those stocks knowing that they're very likely to lose money. This is why they can't. This is why the government, this is why Wall Street, this is why they can't deal with them, because they don't understand the concept of buying stocks.
Of looking after your local community.
Yeah, you're doing it. Well, it means so much more as well. It's owning the internet.
Well, if that mentality
discourse
would support local businesses more, then I think we'd have a much better society.
Do you know what? You've just completely changed my mind on that.
Okay.
These meme stock buying cretins should be supporting the community.
They should.
Not GameStop.
No. They're a local shop.
I've completely changed my mind on the whole thing, and I wish I'd not put it in the show now. They disgust me.
Do you know what I think? I think you're okay because I don't think anyone's listening. But I know. But just another thing about causing fraud. Do you want me to jump to the end, because I wasn't keen on this story, where you've got a company in Willenhall near Birmingham who's just got done for VAT fraud. What have we got here? 300,000 in income fraud. And the case here is that allegedly, because I'm not one for believing everything I read in the papers.
I was so proud of this story because it's not been reported widely. This is the closest you're going to get out of me in terms of breaking news. I was so proud of this, and all you've done is tut.
No, it's not that. It's just that it's going back to that incompetence or lack of awareness that a lot of small traders have, and to deliberately trying to defraud things. And it just didn't seem right the way this was reported, because what we've got here is that an accusation of charging VAT with a false VAT number and that is out and out fraud. But charging VAT and then not paying it over to HMRC, it's not really fraud, it's just money mismanagement, and it's a different concept. But these guys haven't got away with it. They've been, they've had a suspended sentence, and obviously the business has been closed down. But according to the paper, these guys were sort of claiming income, paying into different people's bank accounts, cashing checks when they shouldn't have been cashing checks, in their own name, rather than the company name.
Yeah, taking customers' checks and down to cash converters and getting the money out directly.
And then in general, Hayden likes that one. But in general, doing everything to avoid, not evade tax. And they've now been told that, okay, you've used false VAT numbers, this, that, and the other. But they've not been prosecuted that much. They've had a suspended sentence. And it makes me wonder if that's really what's happened. I mean, I looked online and I couldn't find that company at Companies House. So it doesn't seem to be a limited company either. So I think it's been reported all badly.
So do you reckon this Charlene and Martin Rigon, do you think they've got friends in high places?
No,
then,
certainly don't. I think they're just business people that have fallen foul of not knowing what they're doing because they didn't have a decent accountant, and I think I'm probably the only one left. But, I certainly wouldn't have allowed this thing to go on. I mean, if they'd have got into trouble, it's because they knew they were going to get in trouble, not because the paper was all over the place or they didn't keep any paperwork. I don't believe that they were using false VAT numbers. I don't believe by what I've seen that they were that sophisticated. And I just when you and I read the article, we thought this has not been reported right. But it is a warning to small businesses that we do need to get the paperwork right, because that'll prove a clear sailing. But it's interesting as well, because if it all is true and they were very naughty, and we'd love to get them on the show and see what went on.
I'm going to try. I'll try my best.
But if they were up to no good, it's interesting that because they've got no money, they've not really been prosecuted. But somebody that's got a lot of money would have had far more severe penalties just for doing the same thing. So if you've got assets and money that have taken those assets off you, but if you haven't, it seems like, well, okay, can't take anything, go away.
So when they say it's one rule for them and a different rule for us, it doesn't always go the way round that you might think.
Does it? You think because people have got nothing, or they're badly done to. But a lot of people get away with things. I mean, sometimes it's just great to be poor, because if you've got nothing, they can't take them off you.
It's amazing. Let me tell you. Honestly, I've never been in the business
of trying to make people wealthier and keep their assets, not to have nothing.
Are we doing that now? We're pulling from the thing.
So I've done this one. That was the last. So that one's gone. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to carry on watching, we've got loads of videos all around us. But if you have more real-world issues and something you'd like to talk about, do feel free to contact me. Just go to my website, stephenenglander.co.uk, fill in the form, tell me what it is roughly you want to talk about, and I'll be in touch. Thank you.